Welcome to News Now. I am Omobolanli Adeshui. Members of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria on Thursday commenced a nationwide protest over crude oil theft. Protesters were seen on the ground at the Unity Fountain in Abuja, carrying banners with inscriptions such as, quote, "Chasing oil thieves and vandals out of business and oil theft is illegal." PENGASSAN President Festus Osifo had on Wednesday hinted that oil workers all over the country would on Thursday protest the menace of oil theft and vandalism, and thus threatened to withdraw their services should the government fail to take decisive action against oil thieves. The Senate Committee on Electoral Matters has affirmed that no section of the 2022 Electoral Act will be ignored to ensure a smooth, fair and credible election in 2023. The vice chairman of the committee, Olalekan Mustafa, made this known when he led a delegation to pay a courtesy visit to the Oyo State government. The delegation was received by Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Adebayo Lawal, and other top government functionaries in the state. In his response, the Deputy Governor of Oyo State declared absolute support for the implementation of the Electoral Act 2022, adding that the law was introduced at the right time. The Deputy Governor advised political parties and other stakeholders to embark on massive enlightenment for the people on the importance of the new Electoral Act.
We brainstormed, we had so many meetings, caucuses and open meetings. Of course, at the National Assembly, it's one National Assembly, it's not a party's National Assembly, because we all work together and we listen to ourselves. We take inputs from we take opinions from different people and different tendencies for us to be able to come up with the 2022 Electoral Act. I want to say with all emphasis that not every document may not be perfect, but the Electoral Act of 2022, if you need to amend any part of it, it will be very minimal.
Act 2022. Now, the sensitization is not just enough by this committee. I think INEC will take it upon itself to do a little more than what the Senate committee is doing. Because we must have the template across the nation, give the impression that even if people are thinking that they will rig election or snatch ballot boxes and this and that, it's no longer going to be possible.
And the Department of State Services, DSS, on Wednesday said the Nigerian government made the request that led to the arrest of media consultant to Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi and negotiator for the release of the abducted Abuja-Kaduna train passengers, TUKUR MAMU. DSS said Nigeria requested its military, law enforcement and intelligence community. MAMU was arrested in Cairo, Egypt by Interpol and has since been in custody of the DSS after he was extradited. The agency said MAMU had answers to provide to some critical questions relating to ongoing security investigations. MAMU's arrest came as Director General of DSS, Yusuf Bichi, said effective intelligence gathering and proactive operational strategy by the security agencies would bring an end to the country's raging security challenges. The DSS, in a statement by its spokesman, Dr. Peter Afunaya, said it had been inundated with inquiries regarding MAMU and it confirmed the development without much explanation. Since 1967, International Literacy Day (ILD) celebrations have taken place annually around the world to remind the public of the importance of literacy as a matter of dignity and human right, and to advance the literacy agenda towards a more literate and sustainable society. Despite progress made, literacy challenges persist, with at least 771 million young people and adults lacking basic literacy skills today. Shekon, an educationist, spoke about the fundamental importance of literacy learning spaces to build resilience and ensure quality, equitable, and inclusive education for all.
They would go around in the morning to ensure that any child that is seen that not in school, they pick the child, they will make sure that the parents are dealt with. They will ensure that that child must go to school. What effort is the government putting in place these days? SMC would go around. Districts that we have now, they don't even bother themselves about such. The government is not even bothered about such. And any child, if you are in uniform, you are still found on the road at 8 a.m., you will be arrested. Picked to your school, you will be dealt with in your school. And if you are a child, you are not in school, you will also be picked up. So no child was found wanting or strolling the streets aimlessly in the morning. And that was why everybody at that point in time was able to achieve education, literacy. Nobody's talking about you being a proficient person per se, but have something that you can do in terms of writing and reading. But as you go up in subsequent stages of your life, you will improve yourself.
Moving on now to Oyo State, where a 5-story building under construction has reportedly collapsed in Ibadan. Our correspondent gathered that the building, which was said to be a hotel, caved in the early hours of Thursday at Awushika area in Ibadan North local government area. 7 injured persons were said to have been rescued from the rubble of the building, but it could not be ascertained if no life was lost in the incident. A rescue party, which consists of men of the State Fire Service, the Federal Road Safety Commission, and other security agencies, have been deployed to the scene. The responders were said to have continued to search the debris for more survivors. To take you to the Africa scene now, where Burundi's parliament on Wednesday swore in a new prime minister a week after President Evariste Ndayishimiye warned that some unnamed people were plotting to overthrow his government. In a tweet, Parliament said it had unanimously voted to approve Gervais Nderakobuka, previously Minister for Security and Internal Affairs, following his nomination by Ndayishimiye. Nderakobuka, who replaces Alain Guillaume Bunyoni, is under EU sanctions for his role in quashing demonstrations during political unrest in 2015. Under the constitution, the president holds the country's main executive power. The Central African nation of 11 million people is one of the world's poorest countries, and its politics have over the years been marked by widespread human rights violations, including killings, disappearance, torture, and gang rape of alleged government opponents, according to the United Nations. In an audio message that circulated widely in Burundi last week, Ndayishimiye said some people were trying to topple his government and warned them that they would not succeed. He also accused some people of sabotaging his government by failing to solve the scarcity of key commodities that have fueled resentment among some Burundians. On the foreign scene, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Ukraine on Thursday and will announce $2 billion in new foreign military financing to Ukraine and 18 other countries at risk of future Russian aggression, State Department officials said. Blinken's visit comes as Ukraine reported positive progress in its efforts to retake territory seized by Russia near Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv. A State Department official who did not specify the other countries or how much would go to Ukraine said the Biden administration was notifying the U.S. Congress of its intent to make the funding available for long-term investments. The latest announcement of military aid brings the total U.S. security assistance to Ukraine to $15.2 billion since President Joe Biden took office in January 2021, according to the official. Biden also approved a separate $675 million in weapons to Ukraine, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced earlier on Thursday, as ministers met in Germany to discuss how to continue supporting Ukraine long-term in countering Russia's February 24 invasion. And U.S. President Joe Biden approved an additional $675 million weapon package for Ukraine. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said on Thursday as U.S. allied ministers met to discuss how to give Kyiv long-term support in countering Russia's invasion. The 6-month-old conflict, which has killed thousands and reduced Ukrainian cities to rubble, has settled into a war of attrition fought primarily in eastern and southern Ukraine. Austin, who was speaking at the start of a meeting of dozens of defense ministers at Ramstein Air Base in Germany, said the gathering would discuss how countries can work together to train Ukrainian forces and improve their defenses. Ukraine has been carrying out a counter-offensive in the south, though details about it are sparse. Western military analysts believe Russia may have left itself exposed in other areas as it rushed to reinforce the south. Coming up right after this breather is entertainment business news. Please stay with us.